Sometimes the most powerful secrets are hidden in the oldest stories. Today, we're going to dive into one about a forgotten woman. And trust me, this isn't just some old history lesson. Her journey holds a key, a real secret to finding spiritual freedom, especially for those times you feel like you've completely hit a dead end.
So let me just throw this out there right at the start. What if our desperate attempts to fix our lives, especially after a major disappointment, are the very things holding us back from the blessings we're actually waiting for?
And that idea brings us to our first section, which sounds like a bit of a contradiction, but stick with me. Our blessings are blockages.
Okay, so here's the key concept we need to unpack. This idea of human attempts. Basically, these are the actions we take when we're feeling impatient or grieving or just plain scared. We try to jump the gun, to get ahead of what feels like divine timing, and in the process, we end up blocking our own growth and the very blessings that were meant for us.
Why do we do this? It's totally human, right? After a big loss, our first instinct is to find a quick fix, to console ourselves. Maybe it's jumping into a new relationship to numb the pain, or grabbing a financial opportunity to feel secure again. But so often, these rushed solutions just end up tying us to the wrong people, the wrong situations.
Let's look at a classic, ancient example of this exact problem to see how it all plays out. So here's a story many of us probably know. You've got Sarai. She's barren, and she is so tired of waiting for the child she was promised. So she cooks up her own plan. She tells her husband, Abram, to sleep with her slave, Hagar, as a way to build a family through their own efforts. And from this plan, their son Ishmael is born.
This really just nails the point home. The Bible itself, right there in Galatians, calls it what it is. It says, the son of the slave wife was born in a human attempt to bring about the fulfillment of God's promise. Notice the language, human attempt. This wasn't the promise. It was them trying to force the promise to happen on their schedule. And the result? Well, it was a total mess, which is pretty predictable. This human attempt didn't create the happy family Sarai was hoping for. Oh no, it brought strife, insane jealousy, and so much conflict into their home that it eventually led to the heartbreaking banishment of Hagar and her little boy.
But the story is far from over. In fact, this is where it gets really, really interesting. So let's shift our focus to the woman in the wilderness. Just picture it. Hagar is cast out, totally alone in the desert with her son. From any normal perspective, this looks like the tragic end of her story. But was it? Not even close. And here's a mind-blowing detail that so many people miss. Out there, at her absolute lowest point, Hagar has a direct encounter with God. And it's so powerful that she becomes the only woman in the entire Hebrew Bible to personally give God a name. Think about that. And what was that name? She called him El Roi, the God who sees me. In the moment she was forgotten and thrown away by everyone, she realized she was seen by the one who mattered most. This is a huge spiritual turning point. So what she does next is absolutely crucial. She could have panicked and looked for another quick fix, another human solution, but instead, she does something pretty remarkable. She holds on to the faith she picked up from Abraham's household, she maintains her personal integrity, and she just waits. She trusts. And that waiting is what leads us to the most stunning plot twist in this whole story. Let's start peeling back the layers as we unveil the mystery of a woman named KETURAH.
Okay, check out this timeline. Abraham is 137 years old when his wife Sarah dies. He mourns her, and then 3 full years go by. The sources tell us he's waiting for his son Isaac to graduate, to reach a certain spiritual maturity. It's only after that, at age 140, that Abraham marries a new wife. Her name is KETURAH.
Right? This is the million-dollar question. Who was KETURAH? The text almost introduces her out of thin air. Where on earth did she come from?
And this is where it all comes together. The big reveal is that Hagar is KETURAH. They're the same woman. Just look at this incredible transformation. From an Egyptian slave who was sent away to an honored wife who was brought back. From the mother of one child born of human striving to the mother of nations. The forgotten woman becomes the hidden queen. It's incredible.
And her new name just seals the deal. KETURAH comes from the Aramaic word ketoret, which means the pure, fragrant incense offered on God's altar. Her new name is literally a symbol of her purity, her worthiness, her complete and total restoration. She didn't just get a second chance, she got a whole new identity.
So, what does this amazing story actually mean for us today? Well, that brings us to our final section, the legacy of spiritual continuity.
Hagar's journey basically created what the source material calls the KETURAH blueprint. Let's break it down. Step 1, endure rejection, but hold on to your faith. 2, maintain your integrity, even when it feels like no one is watching. 3, wait for that spiritual graduation, that moment of maturity. And then finally, step 4, receive that divine restoration and honor.
And this wasn't just a one-and-done thing. Her story actually set a pattern, a pathway of what's called spiritual continuity. This blueprint she created is the hidden foundation that, according to the sources, made it possible for other famous biblical women like Ruth, Esther, and Abigail to navigate their own crazy circumstances and find their destiny.
This quote from the source material just says it all perfectly. You have the forgotten one who produced all the unforgettable ones. Her quiet faithfulness, her refusal to make another human attempt, created a spiritual legacy that rippled through generations.
And that leaves us with this final thought to chew on. What would change in our own lives if in those moments of heartbreak or impatience, we chose to just endure, to maintain our integrity, and to wait for our own KETURAH moment, instead of rushing headfirst into another human attempt? Something to think about.